I've had so many people asking me to bring the ranking videos back. Well, we just did the DLC shotguns from worst to best in COD history. Today, we tackle the DLC pistols. That's right. Every single DLC pistol. Now, pistols used to be kind of this dinky last resort in Call of Duty. Not anymore. Some of these are absolute juggernauts, but we're going to attempt to rank every DLC pistol, all the pistols that came post-launch, from worst, the absolute worst, to the absolute best. Welcome to the channel, everybody. Jimmy or Chaos. Thank you for stopping by and watching the video. Let's go for a like goal today in 24 hours of 971 likes. And yes, I read every single comment on every single video. I truly appreciate you guys. And now, let's start off with the absolute worst DLC pistol in COD history. Let's start off with the worst of the worst. Dead last, number 22, the Rift E9 in Black Ops 3. Maybe a hot take because I know there are people out there that like this pistol, but I think it's safe to say the majority of Black Ops 3 players, including myself, didn't think very highly of it. It was a 2-round burst energy pistol. Fired really slow moving projectiles, and if both shots landed, it was an automatic kill. But you rarely got both shots to land with the first pull of the trigger, which made it feel kind of awkward and inconsistent. So yes, there was potential, and it was weirdly good at destroying kill streaks, but as far as being a good secondary weapon, it wasn't reliable. I think it's dead last. At number 21, the BR9 in the MWR. Now this DLC pistol was kind of cool because it was a neat visual throwback to the World War II era of firearms, but in terms of functionality, wasn't very appealing. It did have insane damage, technically better DPS than the Deagle, but it also had an absurd visual kick that made it borderline impossible to use more than one shot at a time. I mean, the Deagle looked and sounded better while still being a 2-shot kill and had more manageable recoil. So the BR9 didn't have a purpose. Again, looked kind of neat. Usually a sucker for throwback guns like this, but in the context of Modern Warfare Remastered's multiplayer, it wasn't that good. At number 20, the Valois revolver in Vanguard. I don't even know if I said that right. This gun looked neat. It had a blade built into the barrel, meaning it could be used as a melee weapon or a panic knife, but other than that, I don't think it was very interesting. The gun part of this gun left a lot to be desired. If you wanted a melee weapon, you would just equip a dedicated melee weapon instead of this. Maybe I'm out of the loop with the Vanguard community, but I wasn't impressed. At number 19, the 9mm Damon in Modern Warfare 2 2022. Another gun that I may be out of the loop on, but as far as I can tell, it was a standard handgun. It wasn't very impressive. Now, I do want to point out, from this point on the list, everything will start to be decent. Really haven't been that many bad DLC pistols in COD history. And I think from this point on, everything is going to be mid at worst. So that being said, I thought the 9mm Damon was underwhelming. Really didn't see why I would pick this thing over any other pistol in the game. At number 18, the 9mm SAP in COD World War II. Now, this is one of the first DLC weapons added to COD World War II, and it was okay. Standard handgun, moderate damage, moderate fire rate, moderate recoil. It was moderate. It was reliable enough, and you knew what you were getting with it. It wasn't very impressive. I think it's a fair place. We got to put everything somewhere here. These ranking videos aren't easy. At number 17, the Stallion 44, awesome name in Infinite Warfare. 6-shot revolver, had this weird trait where it actually fired faster from the hip than it did aiming down the sights, which that sometimes can make you feel super cool, but at other times, it would get you in trouble. I mean, the damage was generous. Consistent 2-shot kill as a revolver. I mean, yeah, if you knew what you were doing with the fire rate, it was a cool weapon to have in your back pocket. Not the best revolver in COD history, but cool. At number 16, the Reich's revolver in COD World War II. Now, this thing was weird because even though it was a revolver, it behaved more like a standard magazine-fed handgun. So it only held 6 shots at a time. But it also had a high fire rate and super low recoil. Damage was a little inconsistent because it was typically a 3-shot kill, but if you were running high caliber, you could land a 2-shot kill as long as one of your shots was a headshot. You also had to load every round individually. There was no speed loader attachment, so it was hard to use. Some people really liked it because of its unique handling traits. Other people hated it because it wasn't as strong as a casual COD revolver. 16 is a fair place. At number 15, the GS Magna in Modern Warfare 2 2022, full auto variant of the Deagle. Sounds crazy, right? Tough to use, did have potential. Wasn't quite as strong as the base Deagle, but it was slightly lighter, easier to control, which I think that made up for some of the shortcomings compared to its big brother, and it had some interesting attachments available. Some people preferred the traditional semi-auto Deagle, others preferred this smaller full auto variant, but either way, I think the GS Magna definitely earned this spot. At number 14, the Enfield number 2 in COD World War II. Standard 6-shot revolver. While it wasn't there at launch, it did make a big impact when it was added. Recoil was high, as it should be for a revolver. The damage was high too. Usually killed with 2 shots. Some of the other pistols in COD World War II were easier to use and still very strong, so the Enfield number 2, to me, gets the number 14 spot. But remember, it was a solid weapon. Just because it's 14 doesn't mean it's bad. There was just better options in COD World War II that kind of hindered the impact that this gun could have on multiplayer. There was a lot of pistols in COD World War II. At number 13, Psych-Off in Modern Warfare the Reboot was added to the game very late in the life cycle, and it came out of nowhere. When it was added, it was broken in multiplayer because it had a full auto mod and an 80-round magazine, and guess what? You could dual wield it. Naturally, people abused it. Following a handful of nerfs, it's now a strong and reliable but balanced handgun. It's also a remake of the Makarov pistol from the original Black Ops. It's way better. That pistol sucked. I mean, that's not saying a lot. It was genuinely trash, but yeah. At number 12, Cap 45 in Black Ops 4. Now the Cap 40 from Black Ops 2, one of the best pistols in COD history. The remake in Black Ops 4 was nerfed, but it was good. Great full auto fire rate, pretty low recoil, easy to hit your shots with, and that made up for the fact that the base damage was pretty low here. If an enemy was already hurt, you could quickly swap to the Cap and clean them up before they could hit the heal button. The pistol, it was strong enough to be used as a primary if you were in a sticky situation. Once again, not nearly as good as the Black Ops 2 version, but it was good. At number 11, Procolot in Modern Warfare Remastered. Now, the original COD 4 didn't have any machine pistols, but Raven decided to change that with the addition of this 3-round burst handgun that honestly changed the way the multiplayer flowed. The damage wasn't insane, but the fire rate was good. The recoil was manageable. It wasn't as crazy as some other burst pistols in COD, but it was balanced enough in MWR. It didn't necessarily break anything, and that was good. I mean, I didn't like there being DLC weapons in the game, but I can appreciate that Raven took the opportunity to add weapon types, I guess, that weren't in the original game. I'm trying to be nice here. At number 10, the AMP-63 in Black Ops Cold War, the remake of the PM-63 from the original Black Ops, but instead of being an SMG like it was back in 2010, today it's a pistol. Instead of being a total trash can like it was in 2010, today it's good. Full auto, moderate fire rate, consistent damage, relatively low recoil, lots of gunsmith possibilities to make it as good as you can and make it as good as a full-size SMG. This was a very strong sidearm. This was a great way to improve the legacy of the really, really crappy Black Ops 1 version. At number 9, the F-TAC Siege in Modern Warfare 2 2022. This one was released as part of the Season 3 Reloaded update. This is in the Modern Warfare universe of the Tech 9. That was the infamous SMG that completely ruined Black Ops Cold War for the longest. But instead of being an SMG, it's a pistol in this game, despite having the potential to dominate entire lobbies. Full auto fire rate, it was pretty dumb in this version. It had a pretty big default magazine. I mean, recoil could get a little unruly, so it did struggle beyond close range, but if you kept the fight close, this thing was pretty good. At number 8, the UDM in Infinite Warfare. Now, most machine pistols in COD history have been low damage but high fire rate. The UDM switched it. Slow firing, lots of damage, which made it feel kind of unique compared to the other COD machine pistols, and it garnered a fan base. Now, it struggled a little bit at close range since enemies could bob and weave in between your shots. This was a pistol that really thrived at close to mid-range, where you could reliably hit your 203 shots to drop the enemy before boost jumping out of the situation and getting ready to do it again. Plus, this pistol looked... At number 7, the 1911 in Advanced Warfare. We know, it's one of the most iconic firearms in human history. Naturally, it's been in almost every COD game, if not every. It didn't launch with Advanced Warfare, but it was added as DLC a few months afterwards, and they made this thing strong. Fire rate was solid, damage was good. There was some insane potential with a weapon this easy to use in a game with jetpacks and boost jumping. Now, it didn't sound or look like anything special. Damage, low recoil, though, made it fantastic. This was the definition of a sleeper gun. It looked completely normal, but it was a beast. At number 6, 44 Magnum in Modern Warfare Remastered. Now, this is one of the few DLC weapons that I approve of being added to MWR because it's a legacy weapon. It's appeared in all the Modern Warfare games. It fit with COD 4. The MWR 44 Mag was exactly what you wanted from a COD revolver. Looked and sounded awesome. Super satisfying effects, reliable 2-shot kill. It was a strong companion to the Deagle, and it felt right at home. Now we arrive at the top 5. The Renetti Modern Warfare the Reboot. Now, I believe this was the first pistol added to Modern Warfare 2019. Quickly became one of the most popular guns in the game, both in multiplayer and Warzone. Very reliable handgun, lots of attachments, and the most popular of which was a 3-round burst mod that made it really good. Now, it was nerfed once or twice, so it's not as good as it was, but it's still one of the best pistols in COD history DLC-wise, and here it is. At number 4, Marshall in Black Ops Cold War. Shotgun pistol, widely hated because it was pure cheese, but at the end of the day, It was strong. We have to put it here. The ammo capacity was limited, yes, but it was strong enough to get an insta-kill if you were close enough, and you could even throw incendiary shells on it if you wanted to really be that person. So yeah, akimbo fire shotgun pistols. Yeah, number 4. Number 3, I love this thing. The M1 Irons in Advanced Warfare. Wasn't actually a secondary, but it was still a DLC pistol, so here it is. And I might be biased, but it was cool. Massive revolver, high fire rate, great damage, no recoil. It made it stand out compared to other pistols in COD history, but it also made it extremely strong because you were getting the power of a 44 mag with the accuracy of a Fowler and MK14 Plus. It sounded awesome. And number 2, the Marshall 16 in Black Ops 3. I know, one of the most hated pistols, if not in COD history. First weapon added to supply drops in Black Ops 3. Since it was distributed this way, nobody got it. But if you did get it, you had one of the cheesiest guns in COD history. One-shot kill range good. Since you could hold 2 at once, you could effectively double that insta-kill range by firing them both at the same time, or you could fire them one right after another since your reload downtime could be cut in half. Believe it or not, this wasn't the best. At number 1, I have to go with the 1911 in Black Ops 3. I have no idea who over at Treyarch decided to make this 1911 version so powerful, but they did, and here it is. 2-shot kill. Still had super low recoil. Still had a high fire rate for a standard COD handgun. Basically, it had the power of a deagle in the body of a Renetti, and it was absolutely busted. And it was in supply drops, so only a teeny tiny percentage of the player base actually got their hands on it. In my opinion, this is the best DLC pistol in the franchise. I mean, it was easy handling, high fire rate. I mean, also did 50 damage a pop for some reason. I don't know. I don't think you're gonna be able to top that. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you soon.